Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skysworld.com for life coaching and mentoring. Let's talk about war. You ever hear that Bob Marley song, War? That's a good song. I'm a Bob Marley fan. The song War has good lyrics. Everywhere there's war. There's a good story with that song. A guy told me one time, when I was 19, I guess I was 19, 20, I was being mentored by a gang boss, and he was a shot caller leader, oddly enough, in the Jamaican posse. And I was the only white boy hanging out with that whole crew. And I wasn't in the posse, because I'm not Jamaican. All I was being mentored by this gang boss. He was much older. He was an old man. He had stories like you wouldn't believe. He fought in guerrilla wars in Guatemala. He ran with the cartel in Jamaica. He had a long, lengthy criminal career in America. He was telling me about the politics in Jamaica and how that two different political parties had been, I don't know if they still are, but had been at war with each other. Divided up, almost civil war. The whole country almost went to a civil war. This was back when Bob Marley was alive. Two different political parties fighting all the time, killing each other, that kind of thing. So Bob Marley was scheduled to have a concert. The concert had way too many people show up, and people from both political parties showed up, and fighting ensued. There was a riot involved, or happened there, and it didn't look like that the concert was going to happen. Well, out of nowhere, Bob Marley gets helicoptered in. He runs out of the helicopter, which was parked right next to the stage, goes on stage, silenced a crowd of 100,000 rioting animals. People are going crazy. Silenced them all and sang that song, War. Everybody sat there just stunned at the song, just at the experience. And then he got in his helicopter and flew off, and they all started fighting again. And I thought that was funny, but it just goes to show you the power of some people. What stops a war? Maybe we need a prophet. Some people think Bob Marley was a prophet. The guy I used to hang out with, that Jamaican gang boss, they called him Mystery. Ross Mystery. That was his street name, Mystery. He very much believed in his heart of hearts that Bob Marley was a reincarnation of Jesus, that he was absolutely a prophet sent by God. We'd sit around smoking tons of pot, and he would explain Bob Marley songs to me like as if it was Bible pages. But let's just talk a little bit about the different wars that we're all fighting. We're fighting some wars right now. Maybe you're not fighting all these wars. You might be fighting one of these. So let's go down the list. If I miss a war that we're fighting, if I somehow don't mention an important war that's going on, put it below. These are some wars. We have a class war. We've had a class war for a long time. We have a race war. We have a race war for a long time. And it's not just black and white. In fact, I don't think there's a black and white race war happening. Where is it happening? I can tell you there's a black and a Mexican race war happening, absolutely. The blacks and the Mexicans have been killing each other for 40 years. They drive around each other's neighborhoods literally with rifles, hunting each other. If you're a black dude walking in a Mexican neighborhood, you're gonna be shot, most likely. And it doesn't matter if you're in a gang or not. And if you're a Mexican walking in a black neighborhood or next to a black neighborhood, oh, there's a good chance you'll be shot. And it doesn't matter where you're going or who you are. All that matters is what your skin color is. It's a race war. It goes to the prisons, and it exists in the alleyways. And it's been going on since before I was born. The media doesn't talk about it, do they? There's a gender war, men against women. That's been going on for a long time. There's this extension of the Civil War, right against left, red against blue. That's been going on a long time. Individuality versus group identity, groupthink. That's an interesting war, and it might have been going on for a long time, but I definitely noticed it a lot these days. Seems like individuality is being attacked. How dare you for being an individual? If you're an individual, you're racist, right? All you are is your skin color. All you are is your group, your class, your gender. All you are is the variety of groups that you belong to. How dare you be an individual? Let's fight over it. This is most of the comments on the internet. There's a philosophical war between the subjective and the objective. There's a war over truth, a war of how we're going to see the world. Are we going to see it subjectively or objectively? Is there real truth or is there only personal truth? There's the LGBTQ community, and you wonder who are they at war with? With everyone. That's the war. The LGBTQ versus the world. That's what it feels like. I lived in a house in Santa Cruz with 5 lesbians and me. 5 lesbians and me. Oh, and they hated me. We sat around and argued all the time. And they decided that I was the reason why women become lesbians. That it was people like me, misogynist men like me, that are literally the problem with the world. If we could just get rid of straight white men, what a great place this would be. There's the energy war. That's an annoying war. Many people are being forced to engage in. You know, the Green New Deal, the electric vehicles versus fossil fuels. It's being forced down our throat. I'm not saying we shouldn't have electric vehicles, but they're talking about banning gas vehicles by 2035. I just don't feel like the electric grid is there yet. I don't feel like that we have the technology yet. I don't think electric vehicles is what we've been wanting. I think that is this in-between technology, and that we're, as a species, just not smart enough yet. Electric vehicles doesn't seem like an answer. But hey, I'm just coming down on one side of it. You guys want to fight this war? Let's fight it. Let's go out in the streets and fight to the death over this. People are doing this. People are fighting. This is a war, the energy war. Let's fight it. There's the generation war. Old versus young. That's an annoying war that doesn't have to happen, but young people always want to go to war with the old people. An extension of that war, but it's a little bit more nuanced and philosophical, is tradition versus postmodernism. So we have traditionalists, people who are very into tradition, and people who are postmodernists, who are very into tearing down tradition and always having this kind of revolutionary spirit of creating something new out of the ashes of the old. When you have those two forces fighting against each other, people that want to tear down statues because they don't want to remember that past, and people saying, no, keep them up. We have to desperately keep these statues up so we remember our past, so we don't repeat it. Should we continually tear down buildings, or should we build upon them and strengthen them? Should we destroy society with every generation, or should we try to build upon it? This is the war. We can go fight it in the streets if you want. I mean, people are doing this. The final war that I can think of, maybe you can think of more, is the war of fantasy versus reality. Some people are living in a fantasy world and they're trying to push that fantasy world on everyone. They'll freak out and scream and yell, want to fight you if you don't agree to their fantasy world. They don't even want to believe there is a reality. These are the wars. Which one are you fighting? Are you fighting them all? I hope you're not fighting them all. I don't think I'm fighting any of these. I really don't. I feel like I'm on the sidelines. And that's one of the reasons why I feel slightly out of touch with most of you. It's food for thought.